Thank you, Mr. Ricketts.
I did fail to mention that one is in District 3, and the next one is in District 3 as well. Actually, no, I got to correct myself. The next one is in County Commission District 3, and if you approve the annexation, ultimately, it will be most likely in City Council District 3 as well, because that's the area that it abuts. So I've been to you the last couple meetings and discussed this with you for information. Today, we're bringing it to you for action. This is a request to annex 13.92 acres of land on Live Oak Church Road into the city for the purpose of redevelopment. It is currently, and has been for the last 50-something years, a mobile home park, and the new owners of this property would like to, they kind of have the option of they either have to fix up the mobile home park or redevelop, and they've chosen to redevelop because it definitely is in need of repair after 50 years of operation. So they're asking to annex the property, and after some early dialogue with the city, we've been talking with these developers for the better part of a year. The city expressed some concerns about annexing a existing mobile home park without some assurances that the mobile home park would be redeveloped. So that's how we got the development agreement that is before you today, and I'm going to describe that a little bit to you. We've talked about it at the last few meetings, and we've had some give and take with the council members, and I think in working with the city attorney, we've gotten the language in there that provides the city the assurances that it wanted to make sure that this property does get, that the existing mobile home park is cleaned up and discontinued as a mobile home park, and that the current residents, the remaining residents in the park, are properly relocated to another property that Newbridge owns. It's the Cedar Hill, formerly Cedar Hill Mobile Home Park in Walthourville, and so the ordinance, this development agreement provides in writing an assurance that the Newbridge Residential will, at their own expense, relocate all the current residents of the current mobile home park over to the Cedar Hill Mobile Home Park in Walthourville. So the time period for performing that is 18 months. They have 18 months to get that done satisfactorily. If they don't do that, then the city is under no obligation to honor this agreement. But if they do perform, and I think they fully intend to perform, then the city would follow through with the commitment in this, as specified in this agreement, to annex them and provide them with the water and sewer that they need to redevelop this property. This is just showing you, as you've seen before, you've seen the picture of what this currently looks like. Live Oak Church Road, back entrance to Griffin Park. So this is the entire extent of the development, and they'd like to remove all of this and redevelop it as a combination of apartments and townhomes. If you go to the next slide. And of course, this is a development agreement that I've just discussed with you. It has all the things that you asked for, and Newbridge is fully prepared to execute this agreement with you. This is the development plan that they'd like to do. This is Live Oak Church Road, again, Griffin Park subdivision. This is where they'd like to put the apartment buildings, and this is where they'd like to put the street with the townhomes. So that's their ultimate development plan for that. And they'll have to, of course, submit an engineered drawing. This is just a concept plan. They'll have to submit an engineered drawing and comply with all the city's regulations for that when the time comes. Next slide. And this is just the place. Basically what the action that we're asking for today is for the mayor and council to authorize the city manager to execute a development agreement with this developer, and if the developer performs, then we'll bring it back to you at that time, whether it be 18 months or 10 months, whenever all the required elements are done, then it will bring it back to you for you to act on the annexation. So today is just a development agreement, but because of the need for the development agreement, this is the way the city attorney has recommended that we do it. We take it through the normal zoning process, and you adopt the development agreement today, and then once all the conditions are met, then we bring it back for final action. So all we're asking you to approve today is just the development agreement. Next slide. This has been advertised for a public hearing. We've had a lot of dialogue with you about it, but it is a public hearing. Planning Commission heard this back at their March 19th meeting, and they recommend approval to you.
Any questions for Mr. Ricketson? So Jeff, so the only thing that we're approving today is the
Annexation.
agreement with the city on what they're gonna do,
That's right.
right?
That's right.
So that's all we're approving today.
Right.
They have 18 months to complete the things that are in that agreement.
If they
Or the
complete it, then
conditions.
you're agreeing that you will annex them and provide them with infrastructure. If they fail to complete it, then there's nothing left to be done, and they will not be annexed.
Okay.
Okay, this has been advertised as a public hearing. Is anyone here that would speak in favor of the proposal? Okay, hearing none, is there anyone that would speak in opposition to this proposal? Please. Please state your name, give your address, and speak into the mic so we can hear you.
My name is Benjamin Roque, and I live at 413 Live Oak Church Road, Lot 32. My wife's been there for 25 years, been there 15 myself. I love the place, always paid my rent on time, and now that we've been relocated, I'd like to at least get to pick the lot that I've been moved to, if it's possible.
You, just for clarity, you would like to speak with the developer and get to pick the lot where you will be moving
The
to?
owner or whoever's in
the-
charge, I'd like to get a pick. I seen the area,
Understand.
and it's okay, but I wouldn't like to be in the backside. I like to be in the front.
I understand.
I like to be in the front, where it's close to the street, where it's a little more secure for me and my wife.
Yes, sir.
And there's a couple of nice corner lots in the front, and that's basically what I want.
Mr. Mayor, I rode by there yesterday and talked to this gentleman. He's been there 25 years and has really moved in. He's got a single wide trailer, but it looks like a double wide, really moved in, really big space. And that's what his concern was, is they didn't want them to move him into a single wide area when he's got a lot of stuff.
Sure.
Well, where you been all this time?
I think that, go ahead.
But I'm saying, Ms. Marianne been here since last September. When she met with the tenants, Mr. Benjamin, did you meet with her and express that?
No, I haven't met with nobody.
Well, I don't.
I don't want to go backwards with this.
I think we're okay. So I think that could be as simple as making sure that we have the conversation. Well, this is a tenant landlord. I think this council is on record as making sure that we make this process as convenient for both parties as possible. But it sounds to me like, and you guys stop me if you don't think so, sounds to me like this is just a simple discussion between the new property owners and yourself. We were told that they were making that happen, and we put this agreement in place to make sure that those conversations do happen. So I'm not speaking from something that we don't intend to see through. And we've put language in it with lawyers to make sure that happens. So I think that if you express that, and I can't speak for the owners either, but they want to make this happen, and they want the transition to happen, and so do we. So I think in your conversations with them, if you relay that to them, I believe they'll find a solution that'll be suitable to your needs.
And then how do I go about this conversation with the owners?
I have your phone number. You want to talk with her? I'm sure everybody else received the letter. She would have been here today, but she have like an eye infection.
Yep.
I have her information if
Yes.
you like it.
Mayor and council, if I may. So it was a requirement for her to, well, the property owners, to speak with the residents, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And you're saying that no one has reached out to you? No one has spoken to you? None of the property owners have spoken to you about any of this? Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I was told that they had a meeting with the tenants, so they didn't meet with each one. They didn't go door to door.
More here.
So
I was never reached to.
was you informed that this move was taking place?
Yes, I went to the court, but I went to the court the last one, 2 or 3 weeks ago. When they were,
Are you in where?
to the courthouse where they were doing when they had the first meeting, but they just say what they had planned, but they didn't speak to anybody, really.
We went to the LCPC meeting. Yeah, he was at the LCPC meeting, that's what he's saying.
So what you're saying is that no one personally reached out to you?
No.
That'd be interesting,
Benjamin.
Mr.
A lot of
Howard, to
people nodding
see
their heads.
if those
Mayor
conversations
and Council,
actually took place.
you'll recall at the last meeting, the developer was here, and she indicated to y'all, I think that question came up at the last meeting, she indicated that they didn't want to go clear out all their tenants before they knew that you were going to agree to this.
Right.
Because they're in a business, and
Right.
if you're not going to agree to this, they need to keep their tenants. So that
Right.
conversation was not going to happen until this
After
moved
this,
forward.
right. And I believe if I'm clear, I told her that I believe that the tenants did know and they needed to start having those conversations.
Right, you did.
So I think I think, I mean, I don't want to speak for everyone, but I think they're on the right path. And we have given them some pretty strict guidelines that we expect them to adhere to. So I believe that if we give it a little time, I think that we'll find, I think it'll be satisfactory. I believe, and especially after today, I believe they'll be in touch with you soon, and you will be in touch with them very soon. And please feel free to come back before this body and let us know the process. Let us know your concerns. But we thank you for your comments and your time. Thank you so much for coming.
Mayor, can we see how many people are here from there?
Yeah, ma'am?
Anyone else in this?
Oh,
I'm sorry,
no.
is there anyone else that would speak in opposition?
My name's Ashley Smith. I live at 477 Live Oak Church Road, Lot 17. Like you guys said, they haven't spoken to us about anything. It's really hard to communicate with them because I guess they're based out of Augusta. Whenever you call, no one really answers the line. So it's just keeping us in the dark a little bit. Like, I know I talked to Norma Gramad, she's over the property management for us, but she tells us not to worry about anything whenever we see the zoning signs. So the last time there was a zoning sign, she told us not to worry. This time, she told us not to worry. She told me personally not to worry. So I guess it's just the lack of communication for us to know what's actually going on, you know, so.
And to me, that's kind of concerning, because you have that gentleman who's been there for 25 years, and now all of a sudden you want him to up and move, but he's not receiving any information. And if mayor and council has given the property owners guidelines, requirements that they need to complete, then where are we at with that if they're not,
She would have been here
filling the
today,
guidelines?
but because of the eye infection, she's not, ma'am. This is her number.
Really, until we
She'll pick up.
approve this agreement, those are the guidelines for doing. Everything else has just been discussion, but, you know, they have to adhere to this legal document. If we sign it with them, then, and, you know, their request is, you know, basically to annex this at the future. Well, that, you know, that future, you know, they would have to, you know, in the agreement, it's highlighted that they'd have to have meetings, they'd have to have the agreement to relocate the tenants. But until we executed that document, everything else has just been concepts right now.
Well, I mean, but I understand, but the most important people that need to know don't know. And that's the people that's living there.
They didn't want to.
They would have 18 months if we agree to this, they would have 18 months to notify those folks, have those meetings, and, you know, agree to that relocation.
Yeah, I think part of the concern is they don't want to tell the people.
Want to rile them up
And then
prematurely.
and then they all move, and then we don't approve it. So, I mean,
Then
yeah.
lost their tenants.
I mean, so it's. I mean,
But
it works both
Councilmember
ways.
Nubia's saying, let them know anyway.
That's, well, yeah.
I mean, I understand it's about business, but we're looking at livelihood here.
Not totally.
We're looking at people who, he has 25 years invested in his place, and all he's asking for is let him know something so he can pick out his new place.
And that,
You know, and that's, yeah.
is what I'm, is it, you know.
But if they're here today, then evidently they done heard something more than what they're
Right.
getting from the people they should be getting it from, and they're concerned. And again, I totally get it. I understand the process, 18 months. I mean, hey, if somebody told me to move out of my house, I had 18 months, I'd probably be mad too. But, you know, I'm just saying, I'm not really sure if things are going the way they need to go. Because the people who live in the property who's going to be affected the most
Yeah, but it's
does
some.
not have any information.
I was surprised that he haven't even heard anything, because this been going on since last September. But you're probably suggesting that we at least let them know everything, whether it goes through or not. They should have said, listen, this is the situation. But she was saying she didn't want to prematurely get them all excited about something that may not happen. But I understand what you're saying. But I've been talking with Mary Ann since last September after she came.
Well, my concern is that the young lady that's still here hasn't even been talked to.
At all.
I mean, and that's a concern of mine. And especially since they keep saying how they've talked to everyone and how they've done this and they've done that. Even though I understand them not putting all their eggs in one basket, hoping that we would approve this. But I have a real concern that the citizens that live there haven't even had a conversation with them, or they find it too difficult to get in touch with them. I mean, I have a concern
I
about
don't know what
that.
number they have, because I've never had an issue with contacting Mary Ann. I've never. So I don't know what number she had, but I think they were referring to the current management. They weren't referring to the future management.
It's the current management.
And,
Get a hold of to know anything that's going on.
yeah, and see,
That's what she's saying.
it's a spokesperson for that area, and she said some of them were aware, but as the mayor said at the last meeting, moving forward, you need to engage everyone. That's what he suggested. And I guess when the meeting was over, they spoke with the ones that were here, but they have yet to have an overall meeting based upon what we did here. But Council Newby is saying either way it goes, they need to be informed. Right? Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
This development agreement that's
Yes.
before you
For the reason.
has very specific performance things that Newbridge has to do, and there are 20-something tenants that have to be moved, and they have to be all moved according to that document, or else you don't annex. So it's nailed down as much, I think, as the city attorney can nail it down.
Yes.
Right.
Any more discussion?
They'll do it in 18 months.
Well, they have to.
I think
Is there a motion?
Mayor and Council, I'd like to see this postponed until our next council meeting, until we can actually, until the tenants that live there can actually have some kind of a meeting or something. I know this is just a rezoning and annexation, but I just don't feel comfortable. Although they have 18 months, but they also said that they talked to each tenant,
They did.
and that has not, obviously, it has not happened.
Now, I know the mayor instructed Ms. Mary Ann to be sure to reach out to them, and then we suggested that our attorney put things into place. Now it's before us, and we're gonna table it again? We're never gonna get anywhere.
Yeah.
Well, I just feel like.
But with all consideration, ma'am, please don't misunderstand me, because I've been here over 60 years, and I would never have done to you what I would want done to me. But if we are going to get anywhere, we're going to have to at least approve something that we ask our attorney to put in place, because it's not going to move them forward with moving you all within that 18 months.
Well, Mr. Howard, can it be contingent upon them reaching out to the tenants? Can
I think
we can approve this contingent upon?
Isn't that what the agreement is?
Yes, the agreement, excuse me, the agreement specifically states that,
I'm talking about rezoning, right?
no, this is the development agreement.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, that was one of the requirements, right, for them to reach out to
Development.
each of the tenants, right?
18 months.
The development agreement states that the developer will relocate the tenants within that 18 months, free of costs associated
Give them a
with
chance
the
to do it.
And so, at the last meeting, if you recall, the developer did state that she was hesitant of contacting all of the tenants for the reason that the mayor has stated, is that she was at the time not sure that the agreement would be signed off on. The mayor did encourage the developer to move forward with that, as most of the tenants probably had already known about it. And so I think what we can do, Mayor and Council, we can ensure that the developer coordinate with staff, to include myself and Mr. Ricketson, as they go through that process, and then we can develop a listing of those tenants, and as they are relocated, and then we can make sure that it's done in accordance to the agreement. In addition to that, Mayor and Council, I would suggest that prior to any move or relocation of the tenants, they must coordinate with myself and Mr. Ricketson to ensure that what has been stated by the tenant in here today, that we have that conversation prior to anything being done.
That's great. Okay.
Is there a motion?
Yes. Mayor and Council, I move that we do rezoning and annexation petition 2024-011 as H, and development agreement 2024-01.
Second.
Been motion and seconded, with special conditions.
Oh, also, I'd like to amend that to include that they have the conversations, or that they include Mr. Howard and you, Mr. Rickerson, in the conversations that they have with the tenants.
Those are our special conditions. Thank you. Is there a second?
He did.
Oh, thank
I
you.
second it.
Been motioned and seconded. All in favor, please signify by show of hands. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-1.
Oh, that's right, you weren't here at the last council meeting, that's right.